Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be playing UFC Matchmaker today. UFC London was yesterday. And we're going to be predicting what the next fights are going to be. And what fights make sense. Fun fights. And the fights I want to see and I feel like us fans would want to see as well. I am making this video because I feel like UFC matchmaking recently has been random and not as... The fans don't want to see a lot of the fights they're making. I feel like a lot of the fights are just kind of like, what the fuck are we doing? And I'm just here to be Dana White today. I'm here to be McManor. I'm here to be Hunter Campbell today and do their job for them. And I'll tell y'all some fights that make sense, that are fun, and y'all will be like, damn, like, listen to this guy. Starting out with Movsar Evloev versus Alexander Volkanovski. This fight speaks for itself. It's the obvious next fight to make. Movsar just beat Lerone Murphy yesterday by decision. Fun fight, but obviously his next fight should be Alexander Volkanovski for the title. Very easy fight to break down. He deserves the next title shot. If he doesn't get the next title shot, we riot. But it should be him on a pay-per-view. Who I think would win that fight? Probably Volk by decision. I can see him winning by decision pretty easily. But Movsar could give him problems. Movsar's pressure is pretty crazy at times. And Volk is getting kind of older, so I can see Volk taking some damage and not being able to recover. But I'm very, very, very excited for this fight because Volk beating an undefeated dude would be pretty crazy for Volk's resume. Imagine saying that Volk at 37 or however old he is would beat a Movsar. That'd be pretty cool. Next fight, we're gonna go Lerone Murphy versus Yair Rodriguez. Lerone did lose yesterday to Movsar, but I still am high on Lerone. I feel like he was undefeated beforehand. He never lost. He's had some good performances. So I feel like a fight with the Yair would make sense. They're both strikers. Yair hasn't fought in a while. He was kind of holding out for a title shot a little bit ago. But I feel like a good fight with Yair would make sense for both of the fighters. It's probably a fight they would both want to because they don't got to worry about grappling. They're both just going to strike the whole fight. And as fans, we want to see that. So why not make this fight? I don't see how this can't go on a pay-per-view or a numbered card for, say, nowadays. As like a fourth or fifth fight on the card, it'd be a good fight. It would be a good fight to watch. I'd enjoy it. Or even headline a fight night. That'd be a good fight. Who I would favor in this fight? Yair hasn't fought in a while, and like he fought Pitbull last, and he kind of was just like an performance. I'm gonna go Lerone. He's been more active, and I think Lerone's kind of underrated. So we're gonna go Lerone Murphy. Next, we got Luke Riley. I kind of have like mixed feelings towards Luke Riley right now, because I don't think he looked bad for, say, as a co-main event of a fight night in London. I don't understand why he was the co-main event. It doesn't really make sense to me how he was the co-main event. He's only had one fight in the UFC, and now he gets to be the co-main event. I feel like it's like UFC propaganda at its finest, trying to make him become a star, like unnatural as fuck. But I'm gonna have him fighting Jack Jenkins. This is a fun fight. Why would we not want to see this fight as a fan? This is a strikers matchup. They're not the best strikers in the world, but they're fun strikers. Jack Jenkins comes forward, throws crazy kicks, throws his hands, and then Luke Riley, he throws his hand. He gets hit a lot, dude. He gets hit a lot. So I would love to see this fight, maybe on like a UK card somewhere. I would love to see this fight. And who I would think would win, probably Jack Jenkins, because I think Luke Riley gets hit way too much. So we're gonna go Jack Jenkins, probably by decision, maybe by KO. Maybe like a third round KO. He's taking so much damage. Ref pulls him off of him. Next fight, we got MVP fighting Leon Edwards. I have mixed feelings towards MVP to be honest. He is on a 3-fight win streak against some decent comp. He's beaten Sharon Booten. It's a decent win. He's beaten Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier's old, but still a decent win. And now he beat Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson was on a 4-fight win streak. So I don't. But the fights that he's winning, but they're so boring performances that like I want to see him get KO'd now. I want to see him get KO'd. But I was looking at the division, the welterweight division, because he's in the welterweight rankings right now, and there wasn't a lot of fights that made sense for him. A lot of people were booked up, so I feel like a fight with Leon would make kind of sense. Leon's on a down slope right now. Give him MVP. That makes sense. They're both from London or the UK. They both strike. Put him as like a fight in the UK somewhere, maybe a pay-per-view or a numbered card again. That would be a fun fight to watch. I wouldn't mind that fight. Who I would favor? That's a hard fight to pick. I'll probably go MVP because he's kind of hard to hit. Like, I guess see like a boring decision. And this fight's not really a fun fight to say. It's not a fun fight. It's a fight that makes sense. So I feel you could put that as it. So yeah. We're going to go MVP by decision. A boring decision. And then they give him a big step up in his next fight and he gets KO'd. So that's my dream. Because fuck MVP. He's so boring and corny. Oh my gosh. Everyone is like sick and tired of MVP. He's so boring. Alright. Hey, we got Sam Patterson versus Carlos Leal. This is a banger. This is an all-time banger. Like a early prelim headliner on like a numbered card, crowds going crazy. These are two guys that love to just fucking get it going. I would love to see this fight. I'm not going to blame Sam Patterson for his boring fight against MVP. MVP attracts boring fights. So we're going to go Sam Patterson versus Carlos Leal. Carlos Leal's coming off a loss as well, so I feel like the fight just makes perfect sense. And I would lean Sam Patterson. I think he's a cleaner striker. So we're going to go We're going to go Sam Patterson by probably KO. I think he KOs Carlos Leal. Carlos Leal is on steroids too, so he might come in looking humongous as fuck and maybe somehow win. But Sam Patterson's a solid player. Or I was about to say player. A solid fighter. It's a shame that he fought MVP and MVP sucked the life out of the fight. It is what it is. All right, next fight we got. Hey man. I don't know this heavyweight's name. I really don't. I really fucking don't. But I watch the UFC prelims. I don't watch the UFC prelims too much anymore because it's just dog shit sometimes, man. It's not fun to watch anymore. It used to be so fun to watch prelims. I used to see so many fun fights on the prelims, but it's just, oh my gosh. I turned it on. I got home from the gym. I turned on the fight, and it was this dude right here. I don't even know his fucking name, dude. I don't even know his name. He did not look like he wanted to be there. He did not look like he wanted to fight. He did not look like he was ever a fighter. I have this guy going against the corporate world of America. I think he's actually from Portugal. But send him somewhere else. Get him a job. 9-to-5 life. Corporate. Send him there. Never want to see him fight in the UFC ever again. I just don't. Like who he was just like stalling the fight every time. He didn't want to fight. He did not want to fight. And he won it somehow. He won. I wanted him to get robbed so bad. I was begging for a robbery. He didn't get robbed. He got the decision somehow. But it is what it is. Get him to that 9-to-5 life. Next fight, we got Christian Leroy Duncan versus Diego Ferreira. I think it's Ferreira, actually. Diego Ferreira. I don't know. Something like that. But we're going to have that fight right there. That's a banger fight. Christian Leroy Duncan beat Roman Dolidze in a moderately fun fight. It was decently fun. it wasn't like a breakout performance. That's why he's probably going to be in the top 12 now. And I think Bruno is 15 right now. So Christian did fight pretty ahead of the rankings to get this fight with Roman. So we're going to make him fight down a little bit in the rankings. Still going to rank fight because you're in the rankings, but fight Diego. It's a fun fight. I think it's a winnable fight for both of the guys. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. Diego Ferreira, I don't know. He throws bombs. He throws bombs, and Christian Leroy Duncan's like a slick, weird striker. It doesn't really his output is really weird sometimes though. I don't know what's going on with him. But it's a good fight. And I probably would favor give me Christian Leroy Duncan by probably KO. Diego Ferreira is kind of defensively unresponsible. So yeah, we're gonna go that. Next fight. We got Roman Dolidze versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. This fight makes sense in my opinion. I'm not a big Roman Dolidze guy. I think he's kind of overrated. I feel like he's been overrated for a long time. He's gotten some favorable matchups, and he won that 3-5 win streak against all like this mid comp. Like Anthony Smith was one of the wins. Like, what does that win really mean? And then he lost to Anthony Hernandez. He lost to Christian Leroy Duncan back to back. I think it's time for him to fight someone a little step below, and that's gonna be Michael Oleksiejczuk. Probably saying his name wrong. I'm sorry, but this fight makes sense. I think Michael's on a 3-5 win streak right now. I think he deserves a big fight in his next fight, and Roman Dolidze is that perfect person. Roman Dolidze is old. He's kind of washed up. I don't really like watching him, to be honest. So give him Michael. It would be a fun fight, kind of, maybe. Put it on a Fight Night Apex card. Yeah, maybe. Like, put it on that shit. I don't really want to see it on a pay-per-view, to be honest. So put it on a Fight Night Apex card, and I'll probably go Michael Oleksiejczuk by decision. Now we got next fight. We got Nathaniel Wood versus Dan Ige. Now this fight is probably one of the fights I'm more hyped about because this fight just makes the most sense. Nathaniel Wood on a pretty decent win streak, and his fights aren't too boring, but they're not too entertaining. But he's winning those. That's the whole premises of this thing. He's winning, and that's kind of what we're getting away with the UFC. If you win, the UFC is still getting mad at you because you're not having a fun fight. But for me, he's winning. Maybe he's not the most exciting fighter, but he's exciting enough for me. So I think he deserves a big jump up in his next fight, and that's going to be Dan Ige. Dan Ige makes perfect sense. He's the gatekeeper of the top 15 to 20. Getting it, Nathaniel Wood that shot. I think that makes perfect sense. They're kind of the same similar style. They're both decision merchants. Let Dan Ige pass over that torch to Nathaniel Wood for that decision warrior champion, top 15 gatekeeper. That'd be fun. I want to see that. That'd be fun as a prelim headliner. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be fun. A prelim headliner on a numbered card. Wouldn't mind it. UFC, if you're watching, that's a good fight to make. Next fight, that last fight on this video. Mason Jones. Oh my God, Mason Jones' fight last night. Oof, that was crazy. That was a fun fight, man. He's a savage. Dude got dropped with a spinning back elbow or fist and came back and won. Dude's a savage. He deserves a decently big fight in his next fight, and that's going to be Nazim Sadikov. That's a fun fight, man. That's a good fight, and it means something to the division. Because if Mason Jones beats Nazim, give him a top 15 shot. If Nazim beats Mason Jones, maybe he doesn't get a top 15 shot, but give him something close to a top 15 shot. This is a big fight. So, who I would go in that fight, though? Nazim's kind of a sniper. So, we're going to go Nazim, probably by KO. I feel like Mason Jones takes way too much damage to, like, not lose at some point. So we're gonna go Nazim by KO, and the fight before that we're gonna go Nathaniel Wood by decision, of course, against Dan Ige. But these are the fights I picked for the future for this card. I feel like this makes the most sense. I feel like the UFC should definitely do some of these fights. I would be a great UFC matchmaker in my own opinion. The UFC's matchmaking in 2026 does not make a whole lot of sense to me. I feel like it's a very fly-by-night company now. Even the UFC White House card could have been matchmaked a lot better. But this is what I would do personally. These fights make sense to me. And they're fun. And they mean something to the division. They're not just throwaway fights. They make the fighter progress in their career. And that's what we want to see as a UFC fan. We don't want to see it just a stagnant, you know? But yeah, that's my video. This is what I'm doing. I'm Dana White today. I'm Nick Manor. I'm Hunter Campbell, and this is what I did. Let me know how I did. Let me know if you'd agree with the fights. Subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content. I'm a big fan of the UFC. But yeah. Thank y'all for watching.